All right, good afternoon. Take a look at this EU setup. Our setup is based on a higher time frame, um, 3 week, 2 month if you want. It doesn't matter. We had a huge down move, broke structure, and we did a complex pullback, right? So price is about at the area you would think that it needs to pull back. Maybe it could come a little bit higher, but if we just fib the down move, we had a pullback. We are very close to the 78, right? Um, I'm not saying you have to take this move all the way back down, but I do believe we're getting to a point to where we can look to short the euro against the dollar. Obviously it's probably going to be some news associated with this. And even if you don't believe it's selling a great deal, um, you can look at this leg up. We broke this high. The imbalance is down here, so maybe we just pull back to this level to push up higher. If you're just saying, hey man, I'm bullish on the euro and I'm bearish on the dollar, you can still look at this as a pullback, right? The market pushed up, it needs to pull back. Notice how my imbalance area is in your same uh, discounted area, right? So the market would have to, it should come back to this area either way you're looking at, whether you're bearish or bullish. Okay. So let's look at the pimp count available. If price comes back up to this level, we're looking at 900 pips, 1,000 maybe. Um, if we can get a good entry. All right, I'm gonna walk down to the weekly. All right, we had a weekly. I call this a bullish OB. Maybe you don't, but we had a weekly bullish candle. So my expectations anyway would be for price to sell down. Um, so the way I would look at this, I would have liked to see price push up to this area above last week's high. Um, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that. But either way you get it, we sell from here. I expect to bounce, come down here, another bounce. And I expect for price to keep working its way down into the zone, right? Into that imbalance, um, where it will eventually either turn to go higher or bounce and come lower. It could do something like this. It could bounce to the imbalance here to continue to go lower. Um, it's a higher time frame analysis, so you would have to scale down and find an entry to start selling. And because it's a sale, or because I'm looking at this as a short, what I would like to see is for price to continue to buy first, and for me to catch my short up in this area. And tomorrow's Tuesday. Uh, so maybe we'll get a push up above these highs tonight or on the Tuesday candle where we can catch an entry for a short trade. All right. I think GU has a similar setup. I'm not going to go in depth with GU, but we are going to look at the structure of it. Again, we had a massive push down. Price pulled back into the zone. So I believe we're going to sell. If you're just bullish on GJ, we can look at this up move. We clearly broke this high, so we just need to pull back to keep going higher. However you look at it, right? That's your prerogative. But all I'm saying is, if we can sell, if we get a sell for 900 pips, I'm sure we'd all like to be a part of that. Um, then on the flip side of this, if you look at USD CAD, it's showing that, it's on the flip side, right? It was high, came back to this demand zone. If you trade supply and demand, and it's going to push up. So there are several examples there for that trade setup and several other trades. It's just suggesting that the dollar is going to go higher, and those pair that are trading against the dollar will get a little bit weaker. I'm going to take about 2 or 3 minutes to look at see what kind of news we have this week, because generally speaking, moves like this are probably going to be triggered uh, by some news event. All right, so tomorrow we have retail sales. I'm assuming those numbers will be strong because we know how you Americans are. You guys like to buy stuff. Okay, so we got retail sales tomorrow. Um, After that, we have housing starts, building permits, continuing job claims the day after that. So I would look at the retail sales and maybe the continuing job claims to see if we get a little boost in the dollar, or maybe some trade deals get announced and it pushes the dollar forward. So that's the trade I'm looking at, or those, the dollar trade is a trade I'm looking at. Which pair you trade is your business. But if you go and you look, you're probably going to see uh, the same thing that I see. And if you don't, get your eyes checked. All right, y'all see you in the trade streets.